Hello everyone, welcome back to the Learning Curve SG, the channel where we talk about everything and anything regarding not just PE but also learning itself. So today we are very lucky and happy to have over here Miss Pang Seok Man, who has just completed her instructional mentoring program, and she is now a full-fledged teacher here at St. Gabriel Secondary, very confident in supporting her students to learn better in a classroom. Yeah, thank you so much, Seok Man, for joining me in this show today. And maybe to first start off, right, let's go straight into my questions for you. How has the IMP been for you? How do you feel about the program?
Okay. I think a little context. Damon is actually my mentor, so I feel very special to be invited on this podcast to share a little bit more about my experience.
Right.
I really am very glad for having this program because stepping into a boys' school was quite uncertain for me. I think no amount of training can prepare us for such a specific profile of students. So I came in with a lot of worries, anxiety, and stress. And I think knowing that there is a mentor assigned to each beginning teacher was very reassuring. And apart from all the different experienced teachers that we have in school to support us, ranging from our DM, our RO, our HODs, and other experienced teacher, having a mentor outside of this spectrum of teachers to support my entry into teaching was really very encouraging. And I think one thing I really enjoyed in our IMP discussion, despite us teaching different subjects, I think there's a lot to learn from each other also as well. For example, classroom management is one. Always looking forward to hear what Damon has strategies and tips for me in terms of how I can employ my classroom, even though we are teaching different subjects. So it also gives me another very different angle to approach the problems I face in the classroom.
Yeah, okay. Thank you for your sharing. And I hear that you feel that having a structured mentoring program helps you to deal with the uncertainties, the worries, as well as the anxieties which you may have, especially when you're posted into a all boys environment. And it is very reassuring for you to have people or someone to actually look for, to talk to, and discuss about the issues that you're facing in class. I remembered when I was first posted to my previous school, there was no structured mentoring program. New teachers just had to cope with whatever that was being given to them. And whatever mentorship that I had was not exactly intentionally structured by the school. I was lucky to have people to support me, to guide me along, but there wasn't a dedicated, experienced teacher to support new teachers who were posted to my previous school, which was many years ago. So I'm also glad that you and your batchmates are now under the instructional mentoring program, whereby there is guided mentorship to support you guys on how to cope better when you're first being posted to the school. Perhaps let's talk about a little bit more regarding our IMP program. So apart from what you have just shared with regards to classroom management, do you have other things which you would like to share with our audience, perhaps regarding pedagogy, with regards to workload management, things like that?
During our IMP sessions, one thing I'm really grateful for is that we always happen to find a common day of every week.
Yeah.
So we always start off with a consolidation of what happened in the previous week, what problems I face in the current week, and some goal setting, what I can try out in the particular week. So in terms of IMP, in terms of preparing me for workload management is one where I did struggle a little at the start. And I can always be comfortable in sharing the struggles I face in that particular week with you as a sounding board. And you will take a neutral perspective to help me break down what is the priority that I should be focusing on. How can I also navigate conversations with my own DM, my own head of department also with regards to workload management. And I think just going beyond the tips and strategies, it's also comforting to hear from you some suggestions in terms of dieting. I think there was a period of time we talk about it, our how to manage our dietary requirement.
So that we have more energy.
Exactly. Yes. I'll share with you how I was very low on energy, and that is bothering me. And then the suggestion you gave was really helpful for me to manage it. So so going beyond learning pedagogical tricks and tips from you, the conversations also covers a lot of different aspects. And I think our conversations have always been very holistic. Like we cover all grounds. In terms of the theories that I've learned from you, you often also share with me some papers, papers that you have read before, and from there we dive in deeper to see how we can apply it into the struggles and the problems I'm facing. So that's one thing that really struck to me a lot during all our conversations in the past 2 years.
Thank you, Seok for sharing once again. I think, like you rightfully mentioned, we don't just talk about pedagogy. We talk about other issues like workload management as well. And I can see that you are very hardworking and you take on a lot of responsibilities. So one of the key issues that you rightfully mentioned was managing all the responsibilities and work that were given to you. And I feel lucky that I was able to help you out, and I feel happy that you took up some of the suggestions which allow you to cope better in this school as well. So apart from you learning from me, I also have been learning from you, because I think this whole mentoring process works both ways. I observed your lessons and I can see that you are pedagogically sound. You have good pedagogical ideas to engage your students in learning biology and lower sex science also. I particularly like when I saw you doing live demonstration in the classroom to get the students engaged and interested in the particular topic that they are supposed to learn that day. And when the experiment is shown live to the students, it piques their interest on what they are supposed to learn. Then subsequently, the learning activities which you have planned for them, like Kahoot quizzes or Quizzy quizzes, engage them in learning the fundamentals of that particular topic before they deep dive into the actual worksheets which they're supposed to do. So from those sessions that I've observed, I noticed that you are already pedagogically pretty sound. And I think all you need is a little guidance with regards to your administration processes and your workload management. So that is what I would like to share with everyone as well. With regards to pedagogical issues, which you have asked me during our mentoring sessions, right? I think one foundational thing that I always advise you is to understand your students first. For example, you shared that certain students are not particularly attentive, or they are not submitting their work, and you ask me what should you do. So I think what I've shared with you is always to find out more from the student, from the form teacher. And I think you have been very hardworking and you did the groundwork to understand the student better, and we got to know that they are facing actually some pretty serious issues at home, which resulted that in the particular in those students not behaving well, or not submitting work on time during lessons. So I just want to say that with regards to pedagogy, we should always understand our learners first before applying the suitable pedagogy to help the student. There may not be one size fits all methods anymore, but we still need a generic idea on how to go about with the teaching. But as we understand the class better, we should also have a few tips and tricks on our side to support the few students who are not able to latch on to the main pedagogical methods that we use with the class itself.
Thank you.
Yeah. So moving on to the next question, I would like to maybe know about a bit more with regards to your teaching beliefs. Can you maybe share with our audience what were your teaching beliefs or philosophy when you first started teaching? And has it evolved over the past 2 to 2.5 years since you have taught in school?
My very first teaching stint was, I think, almost 8-9 years ago, where I was fresh out of A-level and was waiting for my university entry. So I had a chance to return back to my alma mater, my own primary school, to do relief teaching. And I think it started from there, where I truly believe that every child is a learner, and school is a stepping stone for them to explore the world around them. We are equipped with resources, be it teachers, materials, learning experiences, and this is what teachers and the school offer to the students to broaden their perspective, to find out more about their strengths and also weaknesses. I think that's also very important, not just to emphasize on what they are good in, but also understanding about themselves as a student, as they in their growing up years, to make more informed decisions in the future when they come to choosing a career, choosing an industry, or choosing things that they want to pursue in life. I think that is something that resonated with me a lot when I started teaching, and also constantly serve as a reminder that as teachers, we are also the connector of between our students and the outside world that they are in. Many of them may not have the opportunities to travel around the world, to go on different experiential learning experiences, or even CCA activities. Not everyone have that offer in their life to do all these activities outside of the school. Yeah, and school is really the place for them to explore their interests, to build their strengths, and also be a better version of themselves as well. So that's something that stick to me quite a bit, and also shaped how I am as a teacher. As I constantly look out for examples, real life examples, simple thing like a newspaper snippet or a video that I came across maybe on Instagram, Facebook, something that is relatable and helps them to see the link between what they are learning and the world that they are currently living in.
So can I assume that your beliefs and philosophy towards teaching hasn't really changed?
I think it further reinforced,
strengthened.
Strengthened. That this is something that truly that I resonate with truly, and something that I hold dearly as a teacher.
Yeah, I also have a similar belief to what you believe in terms of teaching. We both believe that every child, is a learner and they are able to learn. And we as teachers, we serve as a connector between the child in school and what they will be facing after they graduate from school. And I think this philosophy lends very well with the idea that our students, our learners are capable of constructing their own knowledge, and which is very developmental. And I think this guides us in delivering the suitable pedagogy to allow our students to explore what they are supposed to learn, so that the connections between what they are going to learn and what they already know becomes stronger. So basically, it's the constructivist approach towards teaching and learning, which is the development of the student by the student himself or herself. And we as teachers, we serve as facilitators, encouragers, motivators. Because we believe that the students will 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 make stronger connections and learn better and be more independent if they are able to connect
That's right.
what they are learning to what they may eventually use that learning for lah. Yeah, rather than the teacher spoon feeding them the answers all the time, and they have to keep asking teachers for affirmation, yeah, to check whether they are correct or not. Yeah, correct. Okay, well, thank you very much for this inspirational sharing. But before we end off the session, we have been talking about assessment, okay, in our school for the past 6 to 7 months already. I would probably like to know a little bit more on what are your thoughts with regards to assessment and how assessment can better support learning. Can you maybe share your thoughts with our audience also?
I think at the start, as a beginning teacher, if you ask me this question 2 years ago, when I hear the word assessment, I think about marking worksheets. And the responsibility falls on the teachers to carry out assessment. I think about the weighted assessment, white papers that are very heavily reliant on the teacher to carry out, to administer, and to assess their learning. So that was what my definition would be if you asked me 2-3 years ago. But as we have more conversations on assessment, I think for me, something that I'm moving towards, a shift in my mindset towards assessment, is that students are also capable of assessing their own learning when equipped with the right strategies, tools, and also practice. Yeah, because we can't just expect them to refer to an answer key and mark and do correction, but they must be given the space to learn how to, in the first place, wear the head of a teacher to look at the answer key. That's one. I think that's something that came to me as we talk about assessment in our school, how it exists in different forms and how it's being executed. So I think the first thing that came to mind when I was doing answer keys for them, I'm very particular about the keywords, highlighting, bolding, underlining, and making sure that the answer key is very comprehensive. So my previous assumption is that the more comprehensive it is, the students will benefit. But often or not, students do corrections just by looking at the first 2 lines of answers, copying it down and putting it into their worksheets, not fully appreciating the answer key. And then I realized that there are many factors. Sometimes it's also the students' motivation, how serious they view this piece of worksheet. But sometimes some students don't quite know how to assess themselves, what they are missing in their answers. They simply just copy out the first few points in your answer key and serve as corrections for submissions and for filing, which defeats the purpose. So I think one thing that struck to me is teaching students to access their learning from the perspective of a teacher. Yes, how they can sit down to put on the head of a teacher, which is something that I'm trying to incorporate into my lesson so far. I'm still trying to see how effective it is, but I think it's more effective in my upper secondary classes, where my students take on the head of the teacher to evaluate each other's work first, to do the marking, like what we teachers do, so that they can go through the process of knowing what to look out for, how to answer the question, and ultimately what their friends' answer are missing. And that's also assessment, in my opinion.
Yes. I remembered that we attended this workshop by this person called Dr. Leong, and he shared this interesting research finding that there is actually not much of a difference if the students themselves are able to assess themselves properly compared to the teacher doing the assessment.
That's right.
Yeah, so the learning quality doesn't dip if assuming that the students know how to assess themselves or assess their peers. Yeah, and if our intention, like we shared just now, is to help our students to develop into more self-directed learners, more competent people as they graduate from secondary school, right? then they need to be able to do some evaluation on their own, which means that they need to know how to assess themselves and then give feedback to themselves
That's right.
or their peers so that they can know where they have gone wrong, make the adjustments before moving their learning forward. Yeah, and I like the analogy where you mentioned we should help our students to wear the hat of a teacher. And I think if you're able to get the students to see that, right, perhaps it would be a little bit more motivational for them to want to self-assess and peer assess during your lessons
That's right.
itself. Yeah, because they may think, oh, wow, imagine yourself being the teacher and then you do the assessment. It gives them this idea that, oh, I am actually growing up and I have more autonomy over what I'm supposed to be doing, which is to guide my own learning.
That's right.
Yeah. Then if I think when such a scenario happens, we as teachers do what? We will probably be the ones in the classroom encouraging again, guiding again, facilitating again their learning on how to actually analyze, evaluate, therefore assess, and therefore give feedback to themselves to move their learning forward. I hope that you continue on with this endeavor to help our students to think of themselves as their own teachers. Yeah, so that they can become more self-directed, more independent as they graduate.
And I think they are also more engaged in learning. Yeah. So, because an example in my class is that I didn't reveal the answer. I got them to peer evaluate each other quizzes. And then I'm very happy to hear conversations such like, hey, you missed out this. I had it in my answer. You missed out this. So I'm going to penalize you here. Hey, why is your answer in this manner? I thought it's this that I put on my paper. So all these are very rich discussion instead of just flashing the answer key on the screen and getting them to mark individually. So the engagement, the interaction among the students, not all. Some are still quite introverted, some still are more reserved, but some are able to engage each other in very fruitful discussion. And then when the answer key is shown to them, they will be like, see, I told you. And things like that. And that, I think, reinforces their understanding of the question and what is the expected answer.
Yeah, I think all the more we should keep trying to get students to do that, right? So that the more introverted ones are given the platform to communicate and collaborate with their friends to do peer assessment. If they don't get this opportunity, then when will they get it? If they graduate from school, right, being shy when they talk to their friends with regards to how they should be evaluating things, then we have done them, I think, a disservice. Yeah, so might as well catch them when they are younger, give them the opportunity to peer evaluate, peer assess. Yeah, so that when they talk and converse during the peer assessment, right, they build up confidence on how to give feedback. Yeah, and tell their friends, okay, where they've gone wrong, where they've gone right, what they should do to improve, then after that, how to move forward. Sometimes I notice the students are stricter than teachers when they peer assess. Yeah, so for me, during PE, right, when I get the students to peer assess themselves during the NAPA stations, they are very strict when the students, when they get their peers to actually do their jumping, their pulling, or their sit-ups. Yeah, ensuring that every detail is being met. Yeah, but because sometimes teachers, we want to give them a bit of chance, right? Okay, yeah.
Which could be a form of motivation.
And more helpful also sometimes also. Thank you, Seok once again for sharing your thoughts with regards to the assessment. So we've come to the last question for this episode, and it is, what is one advice that you can give to our beginning teachers who have been posted to our school, as well as to beginning teachers who will be posting to their respective schools in future?
I think the first thing that comes to mind is really don't be afraid to ask questions. I recall in the earlier days of our IMP, I'll be a little hesitant to share my struggle and challenge. I'm not too sure, is it because I don't want to feel like I'm inferior, or like I'm not too sure how my mentor Damon would respond. But when I step out of that zone and really sincerely and really factually ask, put the facts out to ask how to approach and how to overcome some of these problems that I face, I gain so much more. Yeah, I really gain so much more, and it helps me to overcome the problems more confidently and letting me be very assured that I'm not alone in this. Yeah, I think some problems, challenges that I shared with Damon, he also helped me to navigate and also point to me what could be the next course of action, steps to take, regardless of in the classroom, outside of classroom, and in the other work that I have to do as a teacher. So I think I really hope all beginning teachers who come in, yes, it's really overwhelming at the start with so many things on our plate, subject matters, form teachership, CCA, and community work, and so forth and so on. But knowing that there are people around, know that there are people around to help you, to guide you, especially your mentor. Don't be afraid to share and to discuss with your mentors during your IMP session, because you really gain a lot out of it, and also lowers down your stress and worries at the same time. So I hope all the beginning teachers can be more comfortable in sharing after building rapport with your mentor.
Yeah, thank you, Seok for sharing that. And I agree with you that we must always ask questions and ask as much as possible, because curiosity can be something very motivational, because it piques the interest of a person who is doing the asking. And when the person, is interested based on the questions that he or she asks, and if he explores or she explores and finds a suitable solution to that query that he or she has asked, right, the learning becomes stronger. And in your case, it's the learning of how to manage your students, how to manage the admin workload, how to teach better. And it's not just you learning from me. Like I mentioned just now, I have been learning from you, from the questions that you have asked. Because you asked me, the questions, right? Sometimes I may not have all the answers for you, and it forces me to research and find out the answers before I come back to you to let you know what are some of the suggested ways that you can approach a particular issue that you're facing, be it pedagogy, be it classroom management, be it workload admin also. So I'd like to thank you for being brave, so that you develop me as a education officer as well. So the key thing is that we want to be brave and ask questions, so that we are more interested in our own development.
That's right.
And we are more motivated in our own development.
Exactly. That's why we tell our students to ask questions. We as teacher should also practice that.
Yes, agree with you. Okay, so thank you once again, Seok for joining us in this episode. And if you like today's episode, please give a like, share, and subscribe. And we will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.